Shall I Compare Thee by William Shakespeare.
The poem is a Shakespearean sonnet which bears the traces of Elizabethan era. It is also named after the first line, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" This beautiful poem is all about a fair youth and eternal love for a dear one. Here William Shakespeare creates a contrast between summer's day and the fair youth, further argues that the fair youth is better. It is a 14-line poem. The first quatrain begins with a question, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" In Britain, a day in summer is well known for its dazzling sunshine, beauty and loveliness. The image of the summer's day has been used here to indicate the brightness, beauty and charm of the fair youth. To the poet his beloved comes as a charming, radiant and beautiful as a day in summer. But soon he realizes that his friend is more lovely and temperate than a summer's day. Then he creates an image of summer's day where rough winds spoil the blooming buds. Furthermore, the duration of summer is very short. Therefore in the first quatrain Shakespeare wants to compare his beloved with summer, but he drops the idea when he thought of the negative side of the summer. In the following 4 lines the poet focuses on more negative effects of summer and argues logically in order to establish that his beloved is better than summer. He clarifies it by saying the beauty of a day in summer is not the same always, because in summer the sun suddenly becomes very hot and sometimes it becomes dim due to the clouds in the sky. Moreover, Shakespeare explains that all the beautiful objects in the world may lose their beauty by accidents or natural changes which the age brings.
In the third quatrain Shakespeare says that the beauty of the fair youth will never fade away. In these lines the poet compares his beloved won't lose the beauty which he possesses, and death will not be able to defeat him, because this poem will conquer on death and grow his friend's eternity with the eternal lines. Finally the couplet line announces the eternity of the poet's beloved. The poet believes that his beloved will be remembered as long as men can breathe and their eyes could see. So whenever the readers will go through the lines they would remember the fair youth again and again. Through the poem the poet illustrates the fair youth's beauty as immortal. The poet addresses the main idea by saying, "But thy eternal summer shall not fade." He compares the fair youth with the eternal summer which will not fade. Finally Shakespeare tells that his beloved will live in the immortal lines. So the poet mentions, "So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee." Furthermore, Shakespeare states that nature is not eternal. Beauty is not eternal, but beauty can be eternal through poetry. And also he shows the pure genuine love by revealing, even if the poet dies his beloved will be living through the lines forever. The poet explores the spiritual type of love through the poem.
This is a 14-line poem which is divided into 3 quatrains followed by a couplet. The poem contains 10 syllables in each line. Each line is called iambic pentameter line, which means each line is composed of 5 iambs. An iamb is a metrical foot. The metrical foot is a term used to describe the rhythm of 2 syllables. For example, an iamb is made up of an unstressed followed by a stressed syllable. Shakespeare maintains perfect iambic rhythm throughout each of the lines. Such as, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" Here the word, shall, thee, mers, is unstressed and I, pair, to, some, day, is stressed. The poem starts with a rhetorical question, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?" This arouses the curiosity of the readers to read. Within the poem Shakespeare has employed many other techniques too. In the line, "Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines," the poet has used metaphor which compares the sun to the eye of heaven. This figurative language emphasizes the beauty of the sun. Once again Shakespeare uses metaphor, but the eternal summer shall not fade. Here the fair youth is compared to the eternal which will not fade. Shakespeare has used imagery in the poem. The following lines are good examples for imagery. Rough wind do shake the darling buds of May. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his golden complexion dimmed. Here the word rough and hot appeal to the sense of touch, while shines and gold appeals to the sense of sight. Shakespeare has used imagery to create a vivid picture of a summer day. The poet has also used personification by calling the sun him, and referring to his complexion. Anaphora such as and, nor, and, so is used in the poem.
This poem carries the characteristics of the Elizabethan era. The poems of this era was included with Platonic idealism. In this poem the eternal love which the poet had towards the fair youth is purely Platonic. On this era the literature was heavily influenced by Italy. These influences had a marked effect on English literature and many new styles were introduced. We can see this poem in the format of Shakespeare's sonnet where Shakespeare made significant changes to the Italian model. In brief, this is one of the finest sonnet written by William Shakespeare. Moreover, this interesting sonnet proves that love can be eternal through poetry.